YouTube? This is the Fat Guy, and I'm here with another video for you guys. I am doing something different today. I am going to do just a screenshot with audio. I am trying to see if I can get this blue mic to work. As you guys know, the blue Yeti mic was not working. I think it was because of OBS, because when I use it with Audacity, it sounds perfect. So I'm just going to use Audacity today and see how things go. So this will just be my weekly update of Bolos, and some of these are Bolos, some of these are just small flips, but they've sold for a relatively decent amount of money. I've got a few tabs up here, so we're just going to start because it will be a long video, and we'll see how everything goes. Now, if you see the first screen here, you will see a ice blue clear N64 controller. If you find the clear controllers, they're usually worth money. It depends on the color and stuff. The ice blue seems to be one of the more common ones, so it's not worth as much as some of the others, but a lot of the others will go like 30 plus easy. But I sold this one for $24.98 free shipping. It was first class, cost like $3. Now I did pay a little bit for this controller. It was $8. So I only made about, $10. But I did get the, let me scroll over here for you guys. I did get the official watermelon red, which I sold for $30. And I got that for $8 as well. But I'm waiting on payment for that. That's why it won't be really in this video. But yeah, if you see these clear blue controllers, always pick them up. If the stick is good and the buttons are good, it's worth a little bit of money to look into. So let's go with the next item. And it will be these Radio Shack voice-operated 5-channel walkie-talkies. I picked both of these up for $4.99 a piece at my local Savers. I did have a 30% off card that day, so I think I paid like $3 something a piece on these. I sold them for $34.99 each, and they both went to the same buyer. He lived relatively close, as in state, so I only paid $5.90 to mail both of these, and both of these combined was in a large box, weighed almost 2 pounds. So that was a hell of a good deal. So I turned, $3 or $7 into like $50-$60 in sales. It'll be like $40 profit, which is not bad at all. Let's move on to this other mug. This one sold just today. It's a Hello Kitty Sanrio red, white, blue, yellow okay, it's basically just Hello Kitty dressed as the Statue of Liberty in American flag garb. I don't normally do mugs. I've been really picky lately, so I've been trying to get just Starbucks and character mugs. And that seems to do well for me. I try to stay away from a lot of the other mugs because they just sit for way too long. And this one did sit for a while. I listed it September and it sold in December. So that's a 3-month wait for us for a mug. But that's not too bad because I've had mugs sit for a lot longer than that. So if you want to get into mugs, do it, but be picky. I only bought this mug because I couldn't find it, so I bought it and listed high. But I sold it for $24.99 offer, and that's not too bad because I paid 99 cents. It did cost $5.70 to mail out, but that's not too bad in accordance to this being actually a relatively new mug. The latest copyright was 2003, made in China. But yeah, 99 cents into like 15 profit, which isn't too bad at all. Now this one set for a while. I listed this January of 2015. I think it was because at the time I listed it way too high. I had this up like $50 because none of the others were up under that price. It sat forever. Then I re-looked and re-edited and dropped it down to 30 just recently. I think it was this month that I dropped it down to 30. But I picked this up for 50 cents up at my local Salvation Army, and it sold for $29.99. Now, if you know books, these are usually medium mail, so I only paid $3 and change to mail it. As you can tell from the photos, it was in great condition. Pages were white, edges were light wear. It was great. But I only paid 50 cents, and I made about, $20 profit, which isn't bad at all. So if you find the pie-shaped Betty Crocker, they usually sell for about $30 dollars, because people still love this one. I've got another Betty Crocker up that just been sitting and sitting and sitting, and it's listed at 20. So just try to find the pie cover, and then you should do okay with it. Okay, next item was a little fun item I listed just recently. I just recently refound this guy in my stuff. You know how a lot of thrifters has a overstock? Hold on, let me get a drink of water. But you know how a lot of thrifters have a lot of overstock because we buy a lot and we store it. But I recently refound this guy in my items. He is a little roughed up. He had little stains, and I did depict that in the pictures here. This is like the only stain I could find on him. And his stuff was fading, so he was well played with. But I picked this guy up for 50 cents from my local Salvation Army. I took a $22 offer. He fit into a poly mailer and mailed first class for like $3. So that's another 50 cents to like $15 profit. So if you find these vintage popples, look for them. Some are good, some are bad. The soccer one seems to be a little bit more popular because I think it's harder to find. But, you know, just if you see these plushes, find them. Again, I'm very picky on plushes. Sorry. I'm very picky on plushes. I don't do well with a lot of them, so I just get real picky. I pick, you know, the vintage ones. I pick the character ones, and even some of the character ones do not do well. Sorry. God dang it. So for some reason I'm getting stuff caught in my throat, and I'm very sorry about the delay. So let's move on. Now, I've sold this one before, so if you can buy these for like $5 or under, get them. Because shipping will be a pain. But if you can find one of these complete for $5 under, I say get it because you can usually make about $20 in profit. It is the Presto Tater Twister. Now, this is the second one of these I have sold. This one did have damaged tabs, as you can see, but everything else was in good working order. I listed this one for $34.99 free shipping. It did cost $8 to ship, so that was a little pricey, but I only paid $4 for the unit. So I made about $20 profit off a $4 investment, and it did sit a little bit since November 27th. So it sat for less than a month, so that's not too bad for a decently fast flip, especially during the holidays. So let's move on. I'm just trying to get through these because I got a lot more tabs, as you can see up top. Fozzie Mug. Now, this one was listed November 26th. I picked this up at the local Savers for 99 cents. I got it because, like I said, I'd like to deal in character mugs and Starbucks. And this is a character of a character mug. You know, it's a nice Fozzie Mug. These are common. And mine did have a little damage because Savers put a sticker on the bottom. And it was a little dirty inside. I did try to clean it out. Don't worry. But I did sell this little guy for $19.99 free shipping, and you know how I do mugs. It costs $5.70 to ship, and I paid $1, which isn't bad at all. And it sold relatively quickly, and I think this one was a little higher up than all the other mugs. I think the others were like $15-16, and I listed this one for $20, but still not too bad for a vintage Fozzie mug. So if you find these for dirt cheap, pick them up. I would not pay more than $1 or $2 for one because of the shipping cost and the fees, because you know, I paid $1 for it. You know, after fees and shipping, I'll make like $10. It's not a huge profit, but when you think about the return on investment, it's 10 times my money. So that's 1,000% investment return. And I can reinvest that into other stuff to roll in more dough, because I do find some cheap stuff that I can flip for 20, 30, 40 bucks on average. So you just got to know the market and figure out what you're going to sell stuff for. And for me, selling a Fozzie mug for 20 bucks is not bad because I usually do bad with mugs. So a $20 mug is pretty good in my book. Now, here's another bolo. You have to watch these. This is a Wet 2 Straight Remington. These are good brands. But some are worth more than others, like most products. Now, this one I bought for $2 at the local Salvation Army a while ago. This one was listed November 18th, 2015. Oh, maybe not that long ago. Sorry. I picked up just recently then. Sorry about that. That's my phone. Apparently I set an alarm. I think that was because I was taking a nap earlier, because I got to go to some movies later, but let's continue with the Remington. I picked this up locally at $2 from my local Salvation Army. Now, if you look at this, if you've seen me in some of the other videos, you know that the Remington Wet 2 Straights sell, usually upwards of $30. Well, this apparently was not that well of a wanted brand or model. I do not know why the difference is, and it also had some discoloration on back. Tested it, it worked just fine. And I listed it for $19.99. It sat for almost a month, but it did sell. After fees and everything, I think I made about, $15. Oh no, probably less. I'm going to say $10 easy investment. So $2 to $10 ain't bad. 5 times your money. Pretty good. Now, here's another cool find. I have done decent in hats before, but it just depends on the hat. Usually, if you find cool hats, fishing hats, monster truck hats, sports hats, vintage hats like the vintage yarn hats and the vintage women's hats, some of those do good money. The issue is it's a flooded market, so you really got to be picky. I used to buy a ton of hats. I still got a ton of hats listed. I still got a ton of hats unlisted. But you have to be picky or you're not going to make your money. This was also used in my old system, as you can tell, because the picture is slightly yellow. But it was a red fish hat made in Bangladesh. I had to sell it as pre-owned because all it had was this sticker. It means it never was washed, so I don't know if it was worn or not. It looked really clean. But I listed it for $20. I think everybody else was trying to get like $14, $15 for theirs, so I decided just to bump mine up and see what I can get for it. I always do best offer free shipping. Well, this one did sit since June. So 6 months, which is a long time. But I got my full $20 for a hat. Now, the easiest way to mail these is just put it in just wrap it in plastic, put it in a box, and mail it off. Yes, it means you gotta find boxes. But I get all of my small boxes from my local Walmart for free. Then on top of that, I do pay for Ziploc bags. I have stopped using those on most items, but for hats, they are a necessity because I want to give these buyers a ease of mind, especially since I'm using a box. If you're using a box with no plastic around the hat and it gets wet in transit, like a plush, the hats can get moldy. So you just have to be wary about that. If you mail these off in a plastic poly mailer, I would not do the plastic bag. But if you don't, and you do like I do with a box, do a bag or some sort of plastic wrap. But I paid $1.99 at my local Savers List and sold for $19.99. It shipped for $3. So I made about $15 in return, so that's not too bad. So let's move on to the other one, because I still got a lot to go. And here's what I was talking about. This just a best offer accepted, but they sold for the full $29.99. Now, if you find these Remington Wet to Straights, the one that actually say it, that means it's a pretty good one. This one, as you can tell, is completely different. It's slightly bigger, and it's silver plated. I picked this up. This one was expensive. I picked it up for $5.99, but I used a 30% discount that day, so it was, let me do some math right quick. $5.99 at 30 cents a dollar, it was like $2.10 off, so I paid like $3.90 for it, plus tax, and it sold for the full $29.99. I just wrapped it in bubble mailer, threw it into a poly mailer, and mailed it off. I probably made about $15 to $20 in profit off this, so it's not too bad at all. It was in decent shape. It was used. You could tell it was used. But if you find these, this was the S8000, and you can get these for a decent price, I would suggest it. I normally get about $30 for this model alone. So just keep looking. You never know what will come into straighteners or curlers. Now let's move on. Hold on, I need another drink. My throat is getting dry with all these things. Now, here's a little bit of retail arbitrage. The reason why I call this retail arbitrage is that locally, I have like a huge discount store. They get stuff for dirt cheap, and they sell it to the public at cheaper prices. I say it's a retail store because it's not a thrift store. They buy and sell new goods. But I picked a bunch of these up. I think I picked over 100 of these up for like $13. And I've been selling these in a 9-pack. I had a bunch of the gold ones, and I'm sold out of those. I was selling those for $25, $30 a piece. But these were $20 for $1. So, this was less than 50 cents investment for this lot. It sells on average for $24.99. I have sold 7 so far. I've basically invested like $350, and I have made hundreds off of these. So if you can find some Martha Stewart stuff, look it up. You never know, because I would never have thought the plates would be worth anything, but the plates seem to sell. The silver, not so much. I think it's because they're smaller, but I do sell them relatively often. So keep a lookout. You never know what you will find. And let's go. Now, everybody knows about ugly Christmas sweaters, but this is more of a sweatshirt. I got this ages ago for 50 cents, but it wasn't selling. Even in the middle of December at my price, no one was biting. So I decided to say, screw it, and just list it for auction. I started this out at $10 auction with a $5.99 expedited shipping. As you can tell, this was my older setup with the clear form, and it was baggy as all get. Not very appetizing photos, but I only paid 50 cents for it, and this was a learning curve ages ago. You never know what you will pick up on the road for thrifting. I've gotten a lot better photos since this has been listed, but I paid 50 cents for this and listed up for auction. It sold for a $30.01 bid with $5.99 shipping. So I essentially sold this for $36. After shipping and fees, I made about $25 profit. Off of 50 cents, that's damn good. But I bought this at a yard sale ages ago with a bunch of other clothing. This was the only Christmas item I picked up at the time, and I wish they had more of these because this seems to be popular, but it's just harder to find. So let's move on. Now here's another item that I listed for auction. I decided to try auctions a little bit this year. I picked this up a while ago. Never listed, just a while. I've had it for a few months, but I've never listed it because when I asked people about it, they were saying just list it for like $30. And I thought that was a pretty good investment. I paid $2 for this over at my Salvation Army, but it fell into my pile and I forgot about it till just recently. So I've recently refound this purse and I listed it at auction because I want to try these auctions out a little bit. And as you can tell, it's a very clean item. It's a vintage Nordic house design Santa purse. But I did not want to lose any money on this. So I think I did bad, but I listed it for $40 auction. 3-day time. Start at 9 p.m. It sold for $49 with free shipping. It costs $5.70 to ship, but I paid $2 for it. After fees and everything, I made about $30 to $35 profit off of this, which is not bad at all, especially for an item that I listed on the 10th and sold on the 13th. Nice little auction. It was very good. Now let's move on. Let me exit. Now here's a little bit of what I call eBay arbitrage. Let me get another drink because this has been one long video. The reason why I call this one eBay arbitrage is because I picked this up at auction on eBay. It was like $2.22 with like $2.99 shipping or something like that. I ended up paying like $5.25 for this. But it was brand new, never opened, and I saw these selling for like $15-20, so I decided to take a risk. So I picked it up and I listed it for $24.99 free shipping. It sat for a while. I listed this September. It set till December, so I sat on it for like 2 months. That's not too bad, but it could have been better because of how much I invested into it. But I wanted to try because I do love selling these old Viewmaster reels. They're always cool to find. They're always neat to see which ones they are. And this was the Lion King. I knew it would sell, but I didn't know when. But I paid the money for it, so I thought, might as well just let it sit with the best offer. No one offered. Someone just recently bought this out for full $24.99. Again, because I paid so much for it, I think I'll only make about 10 to 15 profit after shipping. It went first class, and the fees weren't that much. Sorry about that. But it still wasn't bad. I tripled my money on it, and it was more of a personal buy. But I won this on eBay, so you never know. Look into some of the eBay auctions of the stuff you sell, and maybe you will find a good deal. I know a lot of people do it, but hey, you never know. This one slipped under the radar of a lot of people, I guess, and I just bought it out. So let's move on. Now, if everybody knows, I went to Little Rock not that long ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And I picked up this PlayStation. It was $4 for complete. It came with the cord, the power, the controller. It had 2 controllers, but the other one got busted, which was sad. And then I got this 8 megabit, memory card. This was a slim, and these sell for about $40 to $50. This one's a little scratched up, so I decided to list it for $40. It sold relatively quickly. I listed it December 10th, and I think it sold within like 2 or 3 days. I paid $4 for it. It sold for $40. I shipped it out, costing me like $7. So I made about $25 or so in profit after fees and everything. And that's not bad for a $4 investment that you flipped in less than a week. This was a good find. I tested it. It worked. This was easy to test because I had everything for it. Because I have games and I have and I have a TV and stuff. It worked relatively well. I did note that in the thing that there was an issue with the system, that it plays games just fine, but when you start the console up with a game, it didn't seem to read it for some reason. But to fix it, I told him just open the lid, go to the browser, and close the lid. Reads perfect after that. Plays both PS1, PS2 games after this issue. So I did say that there was an issue with the system. But, like I said, when I went to the browser inside the PS2 menu and I closed the lid again, it popped open the disc. I guess it was just because it's a bad boot up or something. I really don't know. But I did get a good profit off of this. So if you find PS2s and get them cheap, buy them. Especially the slim model. The fat one, not so much. It's a little heavier, and usually people are smart about those because people will love the slims for some reason, but some people do not like the fats. You never know with the market, though, so just pick them up if you get them cheap. Now, let's go to a funny item. And I call this a funny item is because I bought a whole box of these master catalog items. I have a complete rack, still sealed, have a bunch of the 3 rings. I had some of the plates, and I had these in there. I paid $14.99 for the whole box. Had a 30% off coupon, so I essentially paid like $12. That's still a lot of money for everything, but I should make my money back at all. They are super slow sellers, because these have been listed for a month, and this is the first one that sold. And I did this one because everybody else was trying to get a lot of money for these, but I just wanted to move these. So I listed them for $40, best offer, free shipping. But it was a black, silver, 5-hole master catalog rack index set of 43. Because they were just a mixed lot and used, I decided just to sell them as is. I gave them photos of which ones I got and of, front and back so they know what it was. I think in the listing I gave them measurements, but I'm not 100% sure. But the guy who offered $34.99, I took it. It mailed into a platted flat rate mailer. So it only cost me $5.70 to ship this. So my total investment for it was like, I don't know. I have so much pieces in that box that I think I paid like a few bucks for this lot. Because I have a ton of stuff in that box. And, so I made probably about $25 profit after everything. After the fees for the stuff and purchase price. So that's not too bad when it's set for a little under a month. But I'm hoping the rest of it sells because it should be a huge profit for everything I bought in that box. And I'm talking about hundreds. So yeah, this was just a small little kick up to give me a little extra cash and to refund and basically fill up my coffer from the big purchase of this. It wasn't that big of a purchase, but you know, it's something I don't buy every day because I just don't find them. And we're going to go to the last item. Woo, we are on the last item. And it just sold today. It's a Allen & Roth mahogany wood bracket. Now, this one was bought by my buddy, Dennis. You saw him in the video. He goes thrifting once in a while, and he gives me the stuff to sell for him. Because he doesn't seem to list a whole lot. He knows when I list it, it will go up. But he picked up 2 of these for like $1.99 a piece, which was a good investment. I'm not going to lie. I took the stickers off. As you can tell, there's a little bit of sticker residue on the top from the agitated cardboard, but it's just a simple mahogany style, you know, bracket. That's all I know about it. And this one sold for $23.90. Now, this shipped first class mail for like a few bucks. So, profit after everything, I made like $8. I say that because it's usually when I sell stuff for him, it's 50-50 split. So I'm not going to complain when I make $8 for nothing. You know, okay, it wasn't nothing. It was like a few minutes worth of work. You know, I did have to take the photos and everything, but I just lumped this together with a lot of my stuff, posted it up, and it sold. $23.90. And the set both of these for less than a month. So if you find Allen Roth, always look them up. You never know. So if you can find Allen Roth stuff for cheap, I'd say buy it. They do seem to sell relatively quickly for what they are. Now, that's the last page I got for you guys. I hope you guys can take some of this info and cram it into your business and hopefully grow a little bit. Hopefully I made you guys think of a few items you never know to look for as well. I know usually when I do some of these Bolo posts, some people do get some insight of other categories they haven't touched yet. So we'll see what happens with this market. Everybody, this is the Fat Guy, and I am out of here for now.